G'day guys, Matt here from Not in the Manual. Just thought I'd use this opportunity to do a quick navigate on autopilot test. I've got to go pick up some hydraulic tube at Wetherill Park and coming from Silverwater I've got to go along here. This would be a good test. It's going to be a very difficult thing for navigate on autopilot to do, especially even this entry ramp. You can see navigate on autopilot is active with that blue icon there. So we're turning on here now. There's multi-lanes here. We are going to engage autopilot now. It's come on for navigate on autopilot. I'll hold the stalk down for the 80. Let's see how it manages. See, it's trying to indicate and turn into that ending lane. It always does that. We'll turn that indicator off. And it wants to get over now. It's doing that. Did that a bit late. There was a car there that was pretty close, didn't want to let me in. And see, trying to navigate me across into that ending lane again. It seems to always want to do that. That's quite annoying. I tend to now just activate once I'm actually onto the motorway. I hate that. Now it's giving me a speed-based lane change. So we will get over here. It does that quite well. The lane changing is actually pretty good. It is getting me to navigate into this lane. I'm just going to follow and do what the car does. I wouldn't normally get over into this lane. We've got two options here that both take us the same way. There's an exit in the middle of this road. That's where I thought it would be a good test for the navigate on autopilot. So you can see here a lot of lanes to pick from. The auto lane change is actually very smooth. I've been really enjoying that. I've got another video I'm putting together. I did a trip up to the Hunter Valley north of Sydney in some pretty wild weather, and navigate on autopilot wouldn't work. It doesn't work in bad weather, and it reverted back to the standard autopilot, which is actually really impressive anyway. And the auto lane change still worked. There was only a couple of occasions where I think it couldn't see the road markings very clearly, with the water on the road, and he wouldn't let me do the auto lane change, but I had to take over. Doing another speed-based lane change here now. We're at 84 kilometers an hour. It's a 90 kilometer zone, an hour zone. You can see here, it's sort of hanging here. It's not overtaking very well. In this scenario, you've got the option of just changing back. Auto lane change back behind this vehicle. And you've also got the option of ignoring that speed-based lane change suggestion. So I'm getting quite used to this. I sort of know scenarios where it's going to be a bit problematic and it's going to sit in that right lane, not overtaking. I could sort of tell we weren't really, it's hit and miss. I've got it set on the mild setting for the lane changing, and we can just double check that. Customize navigate. I've got it on average. I've been thinking about putting it down to the mild setting. Average still sometimes will just sit in that right lane, barely overtaking, and it will give me a speed-based lane change suggestion when I'm really only doing a few kilometers an hour up, slower than the speed limit. So I'm still getting a feel for that, but I may end up putting that from average down to mild. Here we are again coming into a lot of lanes here merging in. Be interesting to see what the car does. And let's just see whether it sits over in this lane or whether it gets me over into one of those slower lanes. I really thought this was a great test today. Bit of an unplanned video. Should be a nice quick edit. Really just put it through as a raw video. I'm hoping this all goes to plan or doesn't go to plan. Doesn't matter. I'll still post the video. Yeah, it's sitting in this lane here. This isn't too bad. I mean, a lot of cars will sit in this lane. The right lane is the overtaking lane, and we are slowly passing this truck up here. So let's just see. It's done okay so far. You know, it's just annoying on that entrance ramp where it's trying to change across into that ending lane. It wouldn't be so bad if you could just ignore it, but it is actually for the entry and exits. You really don't have any. It doesn't ask you for permission. It will sometimes just change lanes without prompting you for permission to do so. or acknowledging that lane change. So I think that can be quite dangerous. And I know in Europe they actually had to change it for European cars to actually ask for confirmation of the lane change at the exits because of that. And I don't know why they didn't just do that worldwide. It is annoying, and you know, it should coincide with that the other option of asking for confirmation of the lane changes. So you can see here, really struggles sitting next to big trucks like this. Yeah, it's sort of weaving in this lane here. I don't want to go faster than the speed limit. We're slowly getting past this truck. But yeah, I think if you've got the option of no confirmations for lane changes and let the car just go for it, I could understand. But yeah, that's the only unnerving bit is the exit. So I often cancel the autopilot altogether as I'm coming up to an exit. I'll let the car get me into the lane and prepare me for the exit, and then I'll just cancel it before then, because it's a bit unpredictable on those exits. So hopefully they'll improve that over time. What I want to see here today, you can see we're going to go and merge in with another motorway, and it actually is still a closed access road. So I'm interested to see whether this car can navigate me safely onto this other motorway. Now, we don't have that many of these big sort of turnpike things like you have in America. Here in Australia, this is one of few of them where you can go from one motorway to the next in Sydney, and it's pretty unusual to have those in Australia, but I think Melbourne's got a few more of them, but in Sydney here we don't have that many. So we'll be merging from the M4 motorway down onto the M7 motorway, and then we'll be taking an exit not long after that. So let's see how it goes. So it's doing another speed-based lane change, but I've got a car coming up in my blind spot, you can see there, but it's not letting it's picked that up. And it's very hard. You can see cars ducking into that lane behind me because I'm going slow. And what I can do now, see, we sped up again. It's a 100km/h zone, so I will hold down the gear change stalk to top that up to 100. That was one thing I had a question. Someone asked the question, does the car change speeds automatically? No, it doesn't. It will slow you down as you go out of an exit, but it won't slow you down for roadworks, normal road signs. You need to confirm that with the gear change stalk. And I might just change my distance to 3. Just keep back from these cars a bit. You need to confirm that speed zone change. So you need to be careful when the speed zones change down, or you've got these variable speed signs here on this road where if there's roadworks or there's an accident, they will chop that speed down at a moment's notice. So you need to still keep your eye out for those speed signs. It's not going to do that for you automatically. It's kind of saying here it wants me to get over for a lane change. It's waiting. It wants, I've got an exit coming up. It's going to take me on this Prospect Highway. I'm actually going to ignore this because I don't want to go that way. I want to go a different way. I want to go further down to the M7 motorway. I'm just going to ignore this. You can just ignore this lane change, and I'll get it to reroute and take me down onto the M7 motorway. If I get over into that lane, it will exit me automatically, and I don't want to do that. Let's see what it does. Hopefully it won't try and change lanes automatically. I'm pretty sure if I stay in this middle lane, I should be good. Yeah, just ignoring that. All right, it should reroute me now once it realizes I haven't taken the exit. So it's changed me to 80 maximum because it thought I was going to take the exit there. So I've had to put that back. Okay, I'm going to stay in this middle lane. I'm going to keep ignoring this lane change. I'll just show you that you can do this. If the car is routing you at an exit you don't want to go in. You can just ignore it. But at the same time now, it's not letting me do a speed-based lane change. I probably should have added a nav point to get it to take me on the M7, but doesn't matter. We'll be there soon. So you've been pretty impressed with this system. I don't think it's that much better. The auto lane change is great. Not having to disengage autopilot to change lanes, that is pretty cool. The auto lane change has been pretty flawless. I've always felt pretty safe. It's not too jerky when it changes lanes. It does it pretty smooth. And you'll see when I change up here further. Yeah, I've been pretty impressed with that. The actual navigate on autopilot, you can see here the car's trying to slow me down for that exit. It was dropping it back to, there we go, back to 80. I've got to override that. Whoa, it just changed lanes then without my confirmation. Or I may have accidentally confirmed it with the gear stalk. Okay. That was a bit scary, but it still does it safely. It will only do it when it's safe to do so. So all right, now we're going to go onto the M7 motorway. I want to see how it handles this exit. We're back to 100 kilometers an hour. This was the big test. I'll leave all this in the video because it's just handy for people to see how it handles these situations. That was actually my fault back there. I was trying to get the speed zone back from 80 up to 100, and I think it took that as a confirmation for the lane change. That's one thing I didn't mention in my other video on the review that I've worked out since then. To confirm an automatic lane change or a lane change suggestion or a speed-based lane change, you can confirm either with the indicator stalk, the light press on the indicator stalk, or you can press the gear selector, the gear stalk, and that will also give confirmation for that lane change to happen if you have that confirmation turned on. So that was something I forgot to mention in that video, but I think really try and get in the habit of just doing it with the indicator, because that's naturally what you're going to use to indicate. So I just keep using that to approve the lane change. But I guess sometimes I'm sitting with my right hand on the steering wheel, and it could be easier just to use that gear stalk to confirm. Yeah, it's one thing. It won't do a speed-based lane change if it knows you're going to be exiting within, I found, usually within 2 kilometers of an exit. You can see here it's sitting on, the car in front of me is sitting on 77 kilometers an hour in a 100k zone, and it's not, no, it doesn't want to do a speed-based lane change. I think it doesn't want to be stuck then trying to jump back into the lane at the exit. Okay, we're coming up to this exit now. Let's see what the car does. Hopefully it can do this without me intervening. Here we go. No, I had to take over. You can see it went to do the automatic lane change. Didn't work. I think possibly that, here we go, it's just done an automated lane change there that was a little bit wild. Okay, let's put it back up to 100 and see how it handles this corner. Okay, we're down to 80. Yeah, it didn't do that automatically. I've just wound it back to 80 for this corner. It's a pretty tight corner. Okay, it's still on navigate and autopilot. I think that was just a bit of a glitch for that exit. Possibly with that truck there. That could just be my experience as well. Here we go, it's handled this quite well. Now it's going to need to merge here. It should do this automatically. No indicator. There's no cars around, that was safe, guys. It didn't bother indicating for that lane change. Okay, here we go. Wants me to confirm that one. Okay, oh, that was a little bit dicey, that one. All right. Okay, that could just be my inexperience here with that, but that was a little bit dicey. Yeah, I wouldn't trust it for those sort of scenarios. That didn't work very well. maybe with a bit of practice in those scenarios, you get to know, I probably should have indicated earlier to get it across for that lane change. I was expecting Navigate on Autopilot to do that for me. So we're all safe. I was keeping an eye on the mirrors at the same time. I knew there weren't any cars around. We weren't in any danger. Let's see how it goes taking this next exit. So far, I don't know, maybe with a bit more practice, this system wouldn't be as bad, but I still think it's got there's a lot to improve. So you can see here, I'm 2 kilometers from the next exit, so it's not making me do a speed-based lane change. I'm going to try and do little videos like this for you guys just that are thinking about buying this package for the car, because I know people are, you know, probably deciding about it. I know it's been released again worldwide, this Enhanced Autopilot package, and people are wanting to know whether it's worth the money. I think if you're doing a lot of highway driving, it's nice to have the auto lane change. I wouldn't get it just for the Navigate on Autopilot or the auto parking. The auto parking isn't too bad at parallel parking, but you know, if you watch my video on that, you'll see where the weaknesses are with that package, and you can make your own mind up. You might think that's good enough for you, or, you know, with a bit of practice, I think the auto parallel parking, I think with a bit of practice you could do that safely and get that to work for you. Perpendicular parking, yeah, it's got a long way to go before I think it would be a usable feature. Okay, coming up to the exit now, let's see what happens here. It's not even indicated. Yep, it's indicated. It's taken me across. Whoa, that was a bit of a jerky, bit of a wonky. Okay, now see, it's automatically slowed me down to 80. It should automatically slow me down to 70 now as well. And it's switched back to normal autopilot, and I'll turn that off to navigate around these streets here. Alright guys, just trying to show you some real world stuff without the hype. This package is what it is. I've been pretty disappointed because you watch the full self-driving beta videos in America and you watch how capable this car is, and then you look at how hopeless it is with these features, and I think this car, you know, you can see it's capable of so much more, whether it's just dialed back or what. You know, I don't understand why this car isn't better at these features, especially the auto park. I think parking is so much easier than some of the things you see the cars doing in this full self-driving beta in America. It's handling some pretty complex situations there and doing quite a good job, but simple parking, yeah, I don't know. I'm still baffled by that. I don't understand, and I'm still baffled by these highway exits and entries, how the car just can't handle that. I just don't know whether by law it's wound back to not be as capable. I don't know. I can't explain that, but it's pretty frustrating. All I want to do is show you real life this system. I am putting it into some difficult scenarios there, but honestly, it's what a lot of people are going to be dealing with, especially in America with these big turnpikes, and the UK. Their freeway systems, you're often going from one freeway to the next, and they're linking in these big complex turnpikes that this car should be able to handle very easy, but it struggles. So don't think this is anything like full self-driving beta at all. I think it just, you know, for me, the standard autopilot with auto lane change is good enough, and you just flick it off when you're taking an exit. I honestly think it's not that difficult to, the navigation gives you guidance when an exit's coming up. It's not that complicated. I'm really happy with the auto lane change and the standard autopilot as a thing. I'm thinking I will probably just turn off the Navigate on Autopilot, or just have it set so that I can turn it on manually if I want to use it. I haven't been overly impressed with that system. Hoping to do some more freeway driving where I'm able to just see how the speed-based lane changes have actually been pretty good. It's not a totally useless system, but I think if you're expecting it to do exactly what it says it will do, navigating you from one freeway on-ramp to the off-ramp and have full control from start to finish, I think you're going to be disappointed. And I just want to let you know that before you spend the money, so you can make an educated choice. But guys, once again, if you've got any questions, with the amount of comments I'm getting at the moment, pretty easy for me to respond to everyone. So yeah, if you got any question, no matter how silly you think it is, put it in the comments and I'll answer. And I've got plenty of patience for that. I've worked in technical support for years, and I'll do my best to answer your questions and try and come back to you as quickly as possible. If it's something I don't know, I will research it and come back to you. And guys, yeah, just take it easy, and if you're hanging in there waiting for your car to be delivered with these long delivery times, have some patience. Once you get the car, you won't regret it. You'll forget about all that, and it'll be worth the wait. So hope I've made that time pass a bit quicker with my videos, and I'll catch you next video. I did a good trip the other day, I mentioned at the start of this video, in poor weather up to the Hunter Valley. That was a really good test of the autopilot system. Navigate on autopilot barely worked in that poor weather, but it was a really good test for the autopilot system and the auto lane change. So I'm putting that one together now. That's my first sort of longer travel, freeway driving video. So I'm trying to work out how to piece that together and make it not too boring. And yeah, it's full of some pretty good things, pretty good footage. The weather was quite bad. We've been getting these really intense low pressure systems off the coast of Sydney and New South Wales, the state in Australia, and it's becoming very tropical with this whole climate change thing. So yeah, it was pretty wild. Windy, rainy. So anyway, yeah, hopefully you guys will get some enjoyment out of that video. I'm also finishing off my video on preconditioning and preconditioning with the LFP battery, and showing you some things that I learnt along the way with that video. Piecing that together, I've put it into, I think I'm in four short episodes. I'm just going to try that format and see what you guys think. Just some shorter videos on 4 different sort of scenarios that I came across. We had some cooler weather. You can see here, middle of winter here in Sydney, 17 degrees during the day. I mean, it's not cold at all, but we did have some mornings where it was 6-7 degrees Celsius, and it was a good test for the car. So that'll help you decide whether preconditioning or not is for you. And I guess you're going to see some of the weaknesses of the LFP battery there that I honestly don't think are huge weaknesses anyway, but it just shows you what to expect with the LFP battery as well. And I look at some of the costs and difficulties with preconditioning, and yeah, you guys can make your own minds up there. That's all I'm trying to do is give you as much info as possible, make it as technical as possible, and to keep it interesting. And yeah, we'll go from there. And thanks again for watching. I appreciate it. I got to 400 subscribers. I'm pretty happy with that. So much better than what I thought I would get to. I didn't really expect much going. I didn't know how much interest I would have in these technical type videos. So guys, what's the other video? Another video I'm working on is the headlights. I've managed to, yeah, anyway, I might keep that a secret. Yeah, I'll give you a bit of a preview of that. I might try doing one of these shorts videos on YouTube, and I'll give you a bit of a preview for that one, and we'll see there. But thanks again, guys. I've taken up enough of your time today. I'll talk to you soon and catch you next video. Thanks again.